Are we live? It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Asylum. I'm your host, Gabriel. I hope everyone had a great day today. And it is Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite was tonight. And let me tell you, tonight's show was a really great show tonight. Like, I enjoyed myself from start to finish. I think there was just only one part of the show that I didn't like, but we'll get to that once we get to that. But a lot happened in this show tonight. Of course, Christian Cage made his in-ring debut in AEW tonight, and he put up one hell of a performance. And of course, we got the Arcade Anarchy match in our main event, as the best friends went 2-on-2 against Miro and Kip Sabian. And not one, but two people made their return tonight. And who are those two people? I will tell you later on in this video. Also tonight, we also had a major brawl as the Inner Circle made their return to AEW, taking down the Pinnacle and what to be the best segment of the night. But of course, we're gonna talk about everything into detail here in this video. And without further ado, let's get this video underway. Now, we start off tonight's show as Christian Cage makes his in-ring debut in AEW against Frankie Kazarian. Obviously, Christian has wrestled before, but this is his first time fighting in All Elite Wrestling. And what else do I have to say about this match? This match was a perfect way to start off the show. These two men absolutely killed it. And I knew that these two men were going to put up a great match. Like, of course, if you guys watch old school TNA, like, these two men put up great matches in the past. And again, they once again did not disappoint. These two men absolutely killed it. And it wasn't like a high flying, like going crazy type of matchup. Like, it was an old school, slow paced kind of matchup. And it worked extremely, extremely well. Christian looked extremely good, especially for a man that has been out for 7 years. Christian looked freaking amazing tonight. And again, I was satisfied. Christian Cage looked amazing. Both men absolutely killed it. And Christian put up a amazing performance. And Christian Cage picks up the victory tonight over Frankie Kazarian. And again, both men absolutely killed it. This was an old school type matchup. And if you guys love old school wrestling, I recommend you see this match. This matchup was incredible to watch. And again, it's not like they were like flying or anything or doing like crazy freaking Canadian destroyers. But don't get me wrong, I love the flying and the Canadian destroyers and the all-out chaos. But sometimes I love to see an like a good old-fashioned old school style matchup. And both men definitely delivered on that front. Amazing, amazing matchup between Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian. Now, after that, we get a small vignette of our TNT champion Darby Allin and Sting. Now, nothing too crazy. Of course, they're making a statement to Matt Hardy, which in case you didn't watch AEW Dynamite last week, Matt Hardy attacked Darby Allin after that main event during that colossal brawl between Matt Hardy's group and the Dark Order. And it's basically all but confirmed at this point that we're going to get a Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy match for the TNT Championship in the future. No doubt about it. So there was that. So after that, we get to probably the part of the show where I didn't really like at all. Now, Cody Rhodes went one-on-one against QT Marshall in an exhibition match, or just a regular one-on-one match, with Arn Anderson as the special guest referee. Now, both men put up a good matchup, nothing too crazy. It wasn't the matchup I had a problem with. It was after the match. So, technically, there was no winner, as QT Marshall sucker punched Arn Anderson to the ground, basically solidifying QT Marshall's heel turn. But all of a sudden, members of the Nightmare family started to attack. So basically, all the members of the Nightmare family that are not really famous, like if Cody Rhodes doesn't they were attacked by the lesser known people. So like QT Marshall and 3 other randoms in the Nightmare family just attacking Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes and Lee Johnson and the Guns. Like they were all getting destroyed by basically QT Marshall and basically these nobodies of the Nightmare family. And basically took out Dustin Rhodes by QT Marshall pile driving Dustin Rhodes right into the steel steps. And they were going to do the same thing to Cody Rhodes, but Red Velvet came for the save, and they just ended their attack right then and there. Now, question: why did you do this? Why did you I literally explained this like a couple of Dynamite videos before. Matter of fact, I explained this in detail in last week's Dynamite review that QT Marshall, he's not gonna benefit anything from this. Honestly, he's not gonna benefit anything from this. After his small rivalry with the Nightmare family and Cody Rhodes, he's gonna end up being a jobber because I don't see AEW doing much with QT Marshall. But then AEW goes out of their way to make another faction, another pointless faction to be in fact, with QT Marshall and 3 other guys that we don't care about, honestly. So apparently we already got another stable versus stable. And if that, why? What is the point? We already got a stable versus stable rivalry going on between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. We don't need another one. Okay, this makes no sense. And honestly, I don't see AEW doing anything special with QT Marshall's new group. Okay, this entire rivalry is just a waste of time, honestly. Like it makes you wonder, what happened to the Cody Rhodes QT Marshall, Cody Rhodes Pentagon Jr. rivalry? Because again, Pentagon Jr. almost broke Cody Rhodes' arm. Are they just going to ignore that? I feel like AEW canceled that rivalry just to do this. And I don't know. This is honestly just a waste of time. You're just making another stable just to make another stable. And again, and we already got a lot of stables as it is. The Dark Order, the Pinnacle, the Inner Circle, Team Taz, Matt Hardy's group. We already have a lot of stables. We don't need another stable in QT's group. They're just gonna end up being a jobber group anyways. Okay, I don't see AEW doing anything with these guys, in my opinion, because again, there's just too many stables. Okay, and they're already putting a lot of focus on, again, the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. And again, they're giving some TV time to Matt Hardy's group and of the Dark Order. Do you really think they have time to pay attention to QT Marshall's group as well? Probably not. Okay, again, this entire rivalry is, I don't know why they're doing this. Again, I'm probably being too negative, but again, we don't need another stable versus stable rivalry. We already got 2 of that going on, and the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle rivalry is much more entertaining than what they're doing with the Nightmare Family and QT Marshall group. I feel like it was just put together just because. Okay, so there is that. I honestly did not like that. I don't know why they put QT Marshall and a couple of nobodies in the Nightmare Family to be another stable. Okay, I feel like this rivalry is happening just to happen. Just honest, why couldn't they just do QT Marshall versus Dustin Rhodes. That's it. Just keep it simple. Why do you have to make another faction war? Honestly. Like, yeah. So there's my thoughts on that. I am personally not a fan of what they're doing with the Nightmare Family and QT Marshall's group. I'm just not a fan at all. So there was that. After that, we get a vignette of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And apparently, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are now a tag team, which honestly, I can see that working. I can honestly see that working. Scorpio Sky's not doing anything. Ethan Page is not doing anything. Both of them are heels. Why not put them together? It makes sense. Like, I like it, but like this is just to promote their matchup with Matt and Mike Seidel in AEW Dark Elevation, which honestly, AEW Dark Elevation is just a waste of time in my opinion because it's just another AEW Dark. It really makes you wonder what was the point of doing AEW Dark Elevation? It's literally a version of Dark, in my opinion, but there's that. And again, nothing too crazy there. After that, we get an interview from Red Velvet. And during her interview, she gets attacked by Jade Cargill. So their rivalry is not done by a long shot. So there was that. After that, we get a small promo of Jon Moxley, nothing too crazy, which leads us to Jon Moxley versus Caesar Bononi. And again, this was a good match, and this was not actually a squash match. Caesar Bononi actually held his own against Jon Moxley. But again, it was not enough to take down Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley picks up the victory over Caesar Bononi. So after that, we get this beautiful brawl segment, the best segment of the night, hands freaking down. So the Pinnacle is in the inner circles backstage room, right? And like they're talking about like surprises, saying that this is our room and we're gonna redecorate, and like this is gonna be our locker room, and like the inner circle cannot do anything about it. But then all of a sudden, MJF opens the bathroom door, and there's Chris Jericho standing there with Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz, just standing there with sinister eyes, which was hilarious. MJF's reaction was priceless. Like, he closed the door. He quietly closed the door. He tries to leave. He opens the other door to the exit, and Jake Hager is standing there, and just the brawl begins. Like these two men literally beating the living hell out of each other. And this was amazing. Like there's literally like me trying to explain it would not do it any justice. Like this was amazing. You need to go out of your way to watch this segment. This was freaking awesome. But in retrospect, Sammy Guevara takes down Sean Spears like taking him down with a door. Jake Hager takes down Warlow by throwing him through a spa table. Santana and Ortiz absolutely destroy FTR and Tully Blanchard. And Chris Jericho just straight up embarrassed MJF by putting MJF's face in the toilet bowl and throwing MJF's face through like a Pepsi machine. And like just for insult to injury, he just pours a bottle of a little bit of the bubbly white onto MJF as the inner circle reclaims their locker room. And again, literally me explaining this segment would not do it any justice. I recommend you see this segment for yourselves. Like this segment was freaking entertaining to watch. I loved every second of it. So after that, we get an interview with the Young Bucks, but Don Callis interrupts once again. So Don Callis tells Nick Jackson to leave, and he had a little one-on-one with Matt Jackson. trying to convince Matt because he's like the older brother, like, you should know better. Like, why did you like betray your friend? Like, you're nothing. Like, you're a shell of your former self. And Don Callis like just slaps Matt Jackson. And it looked like Matt Jackson was going to attack Don Callis. But Matt Jackson actually showed some remorse and actually didn't do it. And because of that, Don Callis said that you're just weak. Like you don't have what it takes anymore. You're a shallow version of yourself. So basically, Don Callis is just talking shit about the Young Bucks. That's basically it. So after that, we get the best match of the night. Well, I won't say this is the best. Like Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian, and this matchup right here, that what I'm about to talk about, they're both equal in my opinion. Both amazing matches, and you should go out of your way to watch these two matches. The other matchup that I'm talking about right now is the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr., Cero Miedo, with Ray Felix teaming up with the Laredo Kid once again against Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. And holy shit, this was a fun match. This was such a fun matchup. Holy crap. You should go out of your way to watch. Like me trying to explain it and not do it any justice. My God, this was such a fun match. These are 6 men going out there and putting up an absolute show. This was such a fun and a fantastic 6-man tag team match. Amazing sub. I really hope AEW signs Laredo Kid because Laredo Kid is freaking amazing. Incredible stuff. But Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers picks up the victory after Kenny Omega takes down the Laredo Kid. Now, like this could be a prediction, but this could be a far-fetched prediction, but hear me out. Kenny Omega doesn't have any opponents going for him for Double or Nothing right now. Now, Double or Nothing ain't till like May something. Okay, so we still got a long way to go. But what if AEW does Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr. for the AEW World Championship? Bro, if AEW ends up doing that, then take my money because, like, again, like for the people that have not seen All Out, like they're in for a treat. I really hope they're building up a Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr. for an AEW World Championship match because I think that would be incredible. Just like you're talking about two of the best in the world going at it. Now, again, it's far-fetched and it's way too close to tell right now. Like, again, Double or Nothing ain't till like May, like something anyway. We still got a month to go. So, like, again, like it's far-fetched, but I really hope and pray they like build up a Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr. match. I think that would be incredible. So after the matchup, Jon Moxley comes out. But he doesn't immediately go to the ring. But then the Young Bucks comes out. And apparently they're on the side of Jon Moxley. And they go into the ring and they were going to attack Kenny Omega, Gallows, and Anderson. But Kenny Omega, Gallows, and Anderson retreats. So, and the reason why all of this happened is because of a matchup they're happening next week. Because next week we're having another 6-man tag team matchup as Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks goes against Kenny Omega, Gallows, and Anderson. Now, don't get me wrong. I love these 6-man tag team matches. These 6-man tag team matches have been great lately. Like the Young Bucks, Brandon Cutler versus Pentagon Jr., Ray Felix, and Laredo Kid match was great. And again, the club versus the Lucha Bros Laredo Kid match was just phenomenal tonight. I really had fun with this matchup. And I just really hope that this is not like an every week thing. Because like this is the third week in a row with next week's 6-man tag team match that they're doing this. I really hope that this is not an every week thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love 6-man tag team matches. But again, with next week's matchup with Moxie and the Young Bucks versus Omega, Gallows, and Anderson, like that would be the third time in a row that they have done a 6-man tag team match. So I really hope that this is not an every week thing because I don't want to get bored of 6-man tag team match because they have been blowing it out the water with 6-man tag team matches. And I really hope that they don't like go all crazy with it. So that's all I got to say on that. Nothing too crazy there. After that, we get a small interview with Brit Baker. Nothing too crazy. She's just promoting another elevation match because apparently Thunder Rosa is in action next Monday on Elevation. And like Brit Baker just said her usual, being probably one of the best things, if not the best thing, in the women's division in AEW Dynamite right now. Like, how can you not love Brit Baker? Brit Baker is doing like honestly the best work of her career right now. Like the best work. So nothing too crazy there, just a small interview by Brit Baker. After that, we get a tag team match as the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida teams up with Ty Conti against Nyla Rose and Allie. And I thought this was a good match. Like, again, like this was a good match up to like the final 5 minutes of the matchup because the final 5 minutes was an absolute mess. Like the Dark Order and the Matt Hardy's group ended up being on ringside. Like they just like brawl, like they catch Hikaru. Like it was just an absolute a mess. The final few minutes. Like I get it. Like Ali is a part of like the Hardy group, and like Ty Conti is a part of the Dark Order, and like the Hardy Party and the Dark Order like have been like in a rivalry as of late. So I understand like why they would be in ringside, but again, it just ended up being one big mess. But Allie and Nyla Rose actually picks up the victory after Allie uses a kendo stick on Ty Conti while the referee was being distracted. Which, by the way, how the hell does Aubrey Edwards not hear a kendo stick like on human flesh? How did she not hear that? Like Ali hitting Ty Conti with the kendo stick, that was fucking loud. Okay, and it just boggles my mind how Aubrey Edwards did not hear that. But then again, these referees suck. Okay, these referees honestly suck. Like, don't get me wrong, I love AEW, but if there's one thing I hate about AEW, it's their referees. Okay, I'm just not a fan of their referees, to be honest. But nothing. Ali picks up the victory for her team, Penny Ty Conti. So, and this is to set up next week's matchup. As next week also, Ty Conti will try to get her revenge against Ali. So that is happening next week. Speaking of next week's matches, we're going to go over that right now. As of course, we got Moxie and the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson for next week. Also, we got Ty Conti versus Ali for next week. I already said that. The Inner Circle makes their first appearance since they got attacked by the Pinnacle next week. Jurassic Express is facing Bear Country. Again, nothing too crazy there. And Darby Allin will defend the TNT Championship next week against JD Drake. Now, I don't know much about JD Drake. Like, I looked at social media and like some people are saying that like JD Drake is a amazing professional wrestler. Again, I don't know much about JD Drake. Like, I'm probably gonna have to look up his work, but like That's also happening next week. Now, there is that. Nothing too crazy. Now, let's talk about the main event, the Arcade Anarchy matchup, as Miro and Kip Sabian went 2-on-2 against best friends in a no holds barred and Arcade Anarchy matchup. Now, this was a fun match. Like, these men beat the crap out of each other. Like, everything was arcade theme. And, like, it was just your typical street fight. Like, these men beat the crap out of each other. And honestly, I thought this was a very entertaining street fight between the best friends and Miro and Kip Sabian. All of these men put up a great matchup. Like, really great match. I was entertained tonight. But two things to come from this. So Chris Sadlander makes her long-awaited return attacking Penelope Ford. So Chris Sadlander is back. And honestly, I am happy because Chris Sadlander, to me, in my opinion, is really underrated. In my opinion. Like Chris Sadlander is real like she already has a character and she's really good in the ring. So I think that Chris Sadlander being back in the women's division could be beneficial for the women's division, in my opinion. Because again, Chris Sadlander is a great talent. She has the character, she has the talent, and hopefully Chris Sadlander, since she's back and all, could get the recognition and the push she deserves. Honestly, if AEW wants to go the route, personally, I could see a Hikaru Shida versus Chris Statlander match at Double or Nothing. I think that would be an incredible matchup because both of those ladies would absolutely kill it 100%. Like, hopefully, I hope they do a Hikaru Shida versus Brit Baker match, but like maybe AEW could save like a Hikaru Shida versus Chris Statlander match for like an AEW special or nothing. But like not a double. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Like hopefully, like they could save a Hikaru Shida versus Chris Statlander match for like an AEW special because again, double or nothing ain't till like May, and we still got like a month out. It's not even April yet. It's gonna be April like tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, there's that. Chris Sadlander is back, and again, it definitely puts a smile on my face. I'm just glad she's back. She's a great talent, and it just puts a smile on my face. I'm just glad Chris Sadlander is back. But you know who else came back? Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta came back, helping out Chucky T and Orange Cassidy, taking out Miro and Kip Sabian. Of course, Trent Beretta spears Miro through a table, and I forgot his name. Chucky T. Chuck Taylor did a running power slam to Kip Sabian, taking him out for the 1, 2, 3 best friends win against Miro and Kip Sabian. And I thought this was a great moment. Like Trent Beretta, Chucky T, Orange Cassidy, and even Chris Sadlander all giving like a big hug. And also Sue. Sue, Trent's mom actually makes an appearance once again. And bruh, like, how can you not love Sue? Sue is just a badass. Like, Sue is not like a wrestler, but she's just a total badass. I love Sue. Like, she doesn't play a major role in AEW, but again, Sue is just a gem to behold. I love Sue. She's just a badass. And the show ends with all like best friends and Statlander giving like a big hug, and they're all celebrating and stuff like that. So hopefully this is the end of the best friends Miro and Kip Sabian rivalry because again, this rivalry overstayed its welcome. I did not like at first glance I didn't mind like the best friends rivalry with like Miro and Kip Sabian, but it just dragged on for way too long, like way too long. And I just hope and pray that like this is just the end of it. Like, no more best friends versus Miro and Kip Sabian matches, because, like, I just hope and pray that this is the end of this rivalry. I just hope and pray. And they ended on a good note too, with the best friends being on top. Okay, like, this rivalry ended on a feel good note. Okay, like, I don't see AEW like continuing this rivalry, and I hope and pray AEW doesn't continue this rivalry. And I hope that this is the end of this rivalry, so that way best friends can move on and like try to fight for the AEW tag team titles, and hopefully Miro can separate from Kip Sabian. I hope and pray Miro separates from Kip Sabian, because I won't say that his partnership with Kip Sabian derailed his momentum, but like Miro's like momentum has definitely stalled a little bit thanks to Kip Sabian. Like, personally, I don't see why they put Miro and Kip Sabian as a tag team in the first place. So hopefully Miro can separate from Kip Sabian, so that way Miro can start dominating again, and hopefully get an AEW World Championship opportunity in the future. Or maybe go after the TNT Championship. There's so many things you can do with Miro. But first, you got to get Miro away from Kip Sabian. But that's basically all I got to say. Overall, this was a great show tonight. Obviously, it has its downs, it has its negatives, but there was just a lot more positives tonight. And if there's anything you should go back and watch, it's the Pinnacle segment, Christian versus Frankie Kazarian, and the six-man tag team match between the Laredo Kid and Pentagon Jr. Ray Felix versus Kenny Omega and the club. Those are the three things that I recommend you should go back and watch in case you didn't watch AEW Dynamite tonight. But overall, I thought this was a very solid show. Definitely a solid show in my opinion. It has its up, it has its downs, but personally, in my opinion, the ups definitely like overwhelmed the downs. And I thought this was a great show. I thought this was a great, solid show in my opinion. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Did you guys like tonight's show? Did you guys not like tonight's show? Was there something you like? Was there something you hate? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. But until then, like, if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment. And again, I want my only rule in this channel is to like be civilized. Okay? Like, don't be assholes in the comment section. Okay? It's okay to have a different opinion. And I want you guys to have different opinions. If you guys have a different opinion than I do, I want you to speak out on it. I don't want you to be afraid to speak out if you have a different opinion. But all I ask is to not be assholes in the comment section. That's literally my only rule in this channel. But that's basically all I gotta say there. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment. And if you guys like the content that I make sure you subscribe and leave the notification and ring the notification bell so that way you don't miss any of my videos. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This is Gabriel, and I'll see you next time in the asylum. Have a nice night, everyone.